Let's learn something new with Shark Bite News. Hi, my name is Cindy, and we'll be talking about the Electoral College. Every 4 years, the Electoral College ends, and it can start months and even years earlier than Election Day. Election Day starts on November 3rd when lots of people vote. Electoral College is the process of fighting to be president. The Electoral College starts with a declaration that a candidate wants to be president. Then the major parties, which are a lot less fun than actual parties, vote who their party wants to put in as a presidential candidate. These are called primaries. There is another way to choose a party representative called a caucus. When a president is elected, there is a great party, the fun kind. The president is showered with balloons and confetti, and everyone wears fun hats and has a good time. This year's convention is different from previous years because so many people can't go because of COVID-19. People can't pack into tight spaces. A convention is a big fun party, if you didn't know. The two candidates are Joe Biden and Donald Trump. Okay, now we're going to our reporter on the sidelines, Maura.
Thanks, Cindy. Here I am at the White House, where current President Donald Trump is staying under quarantine after figuring out that he has COVID-19. Lots of people are wondering how this will affect the process of Electoral College and the election. So far, there's a debate on October 15th that could be affected by him having COVID. We will update you once we have more information. But for now, that's it for your White House update. Back to you, Cindy.
Now for trivia. Which state has the first primary caucus of the season? Illinois, Alabama, Iowa, Texas. The answer is Iowa. If you got it right, congratulations. If you got it wrong, better luck next time. Now back to you, Maura.
Thanks, Cindy. A question one of our viewers asked is, what is important about voting in 2020? The voting will be important because the coronavirus is causing an uprise in mail-in ballots. So there could be a delay in the results, even after the polling station closed. Also, last election, Hillary Clinton won the popular vote, meaning she was the most popular, but Donald Trump still won because of the process of Electoral College. Back to why delaying the election results is a problem. This could be a problem because the Supreme Court Judge Ruth Bader Ginsburg died. She was a great woman. Fight for things that you care about and do it in a way so that others will follow, was one of her quotes. Her death was devastating to the people and to the Supreme Court. Now the Republican Party is working on electing a new judge, even though in 2016, when another judge died, and President Obama tried to elect a new one a couple of months before the election, and the Senate told him it was too close to the election. And this time it is a month away from the election. So a delay in voting could be bad for the Democratic Party. Now on to a little state trivia. A swing state is a state that doesn't have an obvious winner who's going to win that state's votes. What state is a swing state? Illinois, Florida, Texas, or California? Florida is right. And here's a little scoop on the swing state Florida. Cindy, back to you.
A swing state is a state that isn't Democratic or Republican area, so they lean from side to side and are a major part of the election. Florida is the most major swing state, and rarely does a president not win Florida and win the election. So Florida is a major part of the election, and the rest of the swing states also help determine the winner and the pollings. The pollings are before all votes are counted. People say who they want to elect. So far, Biden is winning through the pollings. And some states that are split in fractions are Maryland and Nebraska. That means that pieces of the state can vote in different majorities. So one piece could vote Democratic and one could vote Republican. So Maura, how does this affect the election?
Well, Sydney, even if one part of the state wants to vote Republican and another wants to vote Democratic, then they can. Now for some trivia. This is review, so think back. What state is one of the split states? Kansas, Idaho, Nebraska or Nevada? The answer is Nebraska, and you can see that on the map of the election. It is split into several pieces. So, back to you, Sydney.
That was your daily bite of news. If you're hungry for more, visit our website, NPES 2020 election. So if you decide to go to the website because you're hungry for more, get a banana split on the split states. Bye!
Episode of www.msb News. The topic we will be covering today is campaigning. Campaigning is a planned event to convince voters to vote for a candidate so that the candidates run for government office. For example, presidential candidates run campaign by holding rallies, making speeches, buying advertisements, and visiting voters in different areas. There are many different types of campaign events, small and large. Sometimes candidates target regions with smaller populations, and sometimes they focus their messaging to place with bigger populations like cities. Next, we are going to pass it right on to Ellie.
Thanks, Lucy. This year's presidential election is very different from previous elections. The dangers of COVID-19 have forced to take people extra precautions for health and safety. This has even impacted the presidential candidates and their campaigning. Now, because of COVID-19, it is not safe for large groups of people to be close. Like Democratic nominee Joe Biden have found different and safer ways to campaign. Instead of big rallies, they've been relying on smaller events and more social media, such as Facebook and Twitter, as a substitute for large events. Any live events are much smaller, and the people who attend them get tested for COVID-19 before entering the event building. Back to you, Lucy.
Thanks, Ellie. Speaking of targeting states, have you noticed that there is very little campaigning in Illinois?
This is because of the electoral vote system. In the majority of states, people vote for a candidate. That candidate gets to claim all the electoral votes for that state. In Illinois, the majority of residents is usually vote for the Democratic Party, the candidate. So all the electoral votes go to the Democratic candidate.
Therefore, it's not valuable for the Republican candidates to spend their limited precious time and resources in Illinois, where they will unlikely to win the electoral votes anyway. But there are other states that are called swing states. In these states, voters are split down the middle between parties, and the majority of voters flip-flop between Democratic and Republican parties. So in swing states, all the electoral votes sometimes go to the Democratic candidate and sometimes the Republican candidate. Shout out to everyone watching at NPES, and that's all for www.msb News.